let's see. So I think I'm the person that's supposed to open up this reading, and then we'll go into the really fun part, which is people writing in the voices of monsters during Christmas time. I'm very excited about this. So the whole thing that prompted this is I wrote a book about monsters, and this kind of came through because I was raising a very smart little boy who's in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, JJ's in charge of the chat tonight. That's my son, James Davis. So if James Davis tries to awkwardly answer your chat questions, because he won't really know the answers, but he's here to support. So you can just kind of know that he's the one that inspired a big portion of this book that I just have come out, which is called The Language of Fractions. And what he and his little friends used to do is they used to look at real world fears and tragedies like 9/11 or the Titanic or the beginning of the world and the end of the world. And then they would draw these little maps. So this is something that they called the map game. And they draw out these monsters and then they'd fight against them. So they would go out into the backyard with their maps and then they'd fight against the monsters of this world and the injustices of this world. And they would win. They would always win. And for some reason, that was like so delightful for me because like if you draw out your fears and fight them, you can win. So I'm going to begin this reading by the rule book. So this is from The Language of Fractions. And these are the rules to the map game, which is how to fight against monsters or be a monster, probably both. So the map game rule book. 1, set up the board. To set up the map game board, unfold and place it somewhere in the real world where everyone can reach it. Inside every fear is a world. Do not mistake one room for all rooms. Arrival is only a lungful of air before departure. Only by passing through each knotted threshold can you access realms within yourselves. Like most things, before being lived, this will seem horrific. But remember, horror is just another word for ruffling of feathers. You're preparing yourselves to fly below ground and dig above sky. 2, shuffle the cards and stack them together in a pile. Make sure that all cards are facing down so no player can see what they have chosen for the rest of their lives. Take turns pulling random motions of confrontation. If this was not Terra, we would call it deviation. But since it's just a game, we call it the news. Think about how the dinosaurs died. Now make a wish on a shooting. 3, place pawns on the start square. The game comes with character pawns. Choose an avatar. You have now become a god, moving mortal forms around. Already we are having more fun than before, yes? All dolls eventually find other dolls and bang their plastic bodies into each other like meteorites, like the formation of the world, like the making of you. 4, let the youngest player go first. Have all the players announce their birthdays to determine who is the youngest. This should make all of those suffering from ageism feel the weight of time holding their heads deeper underwater. Not to worry. Learning to breathe when there is no air is how we discover new things, like how to grope at the empty spaces you abhorred. Go inside 0. Remember, the word root for entry is birth. All right, so this is why we're here. Yeah, okay. Well, I know that it will get more cheerful and playful with the poets that are to come up, but I'm very, very excited about this book of poems where we confront our monsters. Okay, so I think we've stalled enough. I think what an incredible turnout. Wow. Thank you guys. I am so grateful. How awesome that all of you showed up on a Christmas night to listen to poetry. I'm so excited. Okay, so we burned some time by me just kind of introducing the concept behind this, but I'm more interested in listening to poetry than I am speaking it tonight. And so I wanted to kind of kick us off really quickly with a door prize. Let's see if I can get this to work. Share. So I loaded everyone up. It's so quiet because I feel like I'm giving a lecture rather than hanging out with my friends. This is the problem with Zoom. Can everyone see this wheel of fortune that's in front of you?
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Thanks, Katie. That's helpful. Thanks. Okay, so these are all of our winners. So tonight I was instructed to make a set, and in my set I have 2, 4, 6, 8 iconic monsters. So there will be 6 winners tonight. The 6 winners will get their own amazing set of tarot monster cards. So tarot cards brought to you by Monsters. You will get a movie poster of one of the most iconic monsters in movie history. And then you'll also get a copy of dun, 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 The Language of Fractions. Yeah. So,
Wow.
all right. So I'm going to spin the wheel and we'll see who our first door prize goes to. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Oh, come on. You can do this. Someone tell me when to stop. I want it to be fair. Oh, maybe it stops on its own. Oh, it stops on its own. Is there a Daniel in the house? Daniel, if you made it, I'm going to put this in the chat, even though JJ's in charge of the chat. Daniel, you are the fabulous winner. You've won our first poetry prize. So if you would, I'm just going to go ahead and give everyone in this room my personal information. This is my email. So Daniel, you are our first winner. And should you like to receive this prize in the mail, I promise I don't ever save emails or phone numbers or anything like that. If you would like to just email me your contact information, I will send you a fabulous prize package. I get less nervous as the night goes on and I get less fast talking. So, whew, okay. All right. So we're gonna move on and not listen to my voice anymore, which I think will be fantastic. This is the problem with writers. We're introverts that have to pretend to be extroverts. Let's see. I have to actually go to my own social media to see my list of poets. So first up on deck, we have the amazing Natalie Graham, who's super, super sick. And we're just gonna like pray very quickly for Natalie Graham that she feels better. So dear Natalie Graham, in the spirit of Jesus and all monsters that are like the zombie baby that is Jesus, we pray that you get better. Okay, okay. So we're sorry that Natalie is not here, but what that means, the poet that opens the night is Katie Manning. Yeah.
I'm so surprised. I wasn't expecting to be first.
Surprise.
I'm honored to get to open the night. And I am delighted to read you this very, very strange poem that I created for this event. So I'm just going to do it. This is Elmo meets Baba Yaga. Elmo loves to walk in the woods at Christmas time. Elmo likes to skip along the path until the trees get thick and pretend that Elmo is Little Red Riding Hood going to visit Grandma. It's easy to pretend since Elmo is red and little and straying from the path or meeting a wolf would be scary. Sometimes Elmo wishes that Elmo could be scary instead of being scared. Elmo knows it's okay to be scared. Elmo just wants to be scary. Today, Elmo is going to pretend to be someone scary Elmo read about in a book. Now, Elmo is flying over the trees in a magic mortar and pestle. Do you know what a mortar and pestle are? Follow Elmo through the woods to find out. See where Elmo landed? This is Elmo's new house. It's a hut that always spins on its chicken legs. Come in through the fence. Yes, those are skulls on the fence posts. A skull is what your head looks like under your skin. Climb up inside the hut. It's small, but there's room for everything Elmo needs. Here's Elmo's Christmas tree. Here's a large boiling pot over the fire. And here's a smaller mortar and pestle. A mortar and pestle are tools used to grind up ingredients like flour or bones. Did you know that there are bones inside of you? Please stay for dinner with Elmo. Elmo loves you. Thank you.
Definitely.
I was afraid of Elmo before this, but now I'm absolutely terrified.
Terrifying.
too.
Elmo loves you. I kind of want to, I want a Tickle Me Elmo doll that just like says that poem. I think we can like do that. I think we can,
Please make that happen for me.
I will make that happen. Because I think what we can do is we can dissect Tickle Me Elmo and take out his little giggle and then put in a but I think we're recording this. So I think I can take the recording from this and put it inside of Elmo and give it to you for Christmas. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna hope for that. You can climb down my chimney and leave me in Elmo.
Yes. Okay, I should have, thank you so much, Miss Katie Manning. Miss Katie Manning, I think, gives more to the poetry community than any poet I know. Following her, I think, is the poet that saved me as a poet, and that's Ron Kirchie. So when I thought poetry had given up on me, Ron Kirchie came and found me and said, "Hey kids, you can turn a line." And that changed my life. And so I'm super, super grateful that he is here tonight. Miss Ron Kirchie. Did I say miss? Oh, geez. Mr. Ron Kirchie.
Thank
as
you.
the blob.
I am the blob. And I tried to gain 20,000 pounds for tonight, but it didn't work. You have to take me as I am, 157 pounds, soaking wet. And some say that's your big fat head, your big old fat head wet. So as the blob, here's what I say. I may be only a gelatinous alien life form, but even a blob can love. How well I remember the movie named for me, and of course, the hero of that film, the incomparable Steve McQueen. Starring opposite him was the plainest Jane ever, played by the talentless Annetta Corso, who went on to appear in the Andy Griffith Show and to have an affair with Andy Griffith himself. Don't picture that. It makes me want to throw up the last few earthlings that I absorbed. Steve McQueen is the only reason I came from outer space to Earth. I wanted to soak all of his incomparable cells into all of mine. So I needed every bit of strength I could muster, and thus the many citizens of Downingtown that I us most. Soon there he was, trapped in the basement of the diner, and my glutinous heart quickened. I knew at last that Steve would be mine, until every hero has a tragic flaw. Hamlet, indecisive. Macbeth, too ambitious. I can't stand the cold. They froze me with CO2, stopped me from surrounding Steve McQueen with my capacious, gooey love. And now I live in the Arctic with my memories of Steve. I'm biding my time, hoping for even faster global warming. Puny earthlings, beware. Soon I will live again. The blob thanks you.
That's amazing. I want to see what it looks like when the blob throws up. I guess I know what the blob looks like when it throws up, but I still want to see it viscerally.
Well, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
That'll be a secret video for you, Nicole.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you bet. You bet.
Success. So Katie Manning got Katie Manning got like something like the 5 of raves or something like that, which I just said made all her dreams came true. You got the King of Candles. I actually don't read tarot cards at all, so just FYI. So this one says that your favorite candies will be given to you every day for the next 36 days. That's what that tarot card means. Okay, anyways, moving on.
Anyway.
Thank you, Ron. Let's see. Up next we have a Rooney. So I'm always a little afraid when a Rooney reads a poem because I usually cry, like ugly face cry, which is a good thing, because then I know that I'm human and not a monster for at least the time span that a Rooney reads a poem. So here is Miss Rooney.
I don't think this will make you cry, but what do I know? So I am the monster under the bed. Dear Santa, In the past few weeks, I've noticed that Jamie, the kid that sleeps in the bed under which I live, has been writing letters to you. I have read some of the drafts that he crumples up and throws in the trash bin. He works hard to find the right words, though the letter seems more a list than anything else. We haven't officially met, but I have seen you before. Every year on December 24th, Jamie goes to bed without any whining or fuss. The promise of you coming gets him to go to bed on time. It's only then, while he's asleep, that I can crawl out from under the bed and have a look around. On the night you break in, the house is uncommonly beautiful. The big people string colored lights on a tree in the living room. Maybe it serves as a signal to help you find the house? Do people not get angry when you sneak into their houses? I live under the bed, minding my own business, yet kids are always trying to get their parents to evict me. I'm not doing any harm. I noticed that you leave gifts under the tree and in some socks tacked to the mantel. There are plenty of socks here under the bed, but they remain empty. Am I supposed to hang them somewhere for you to find? The people in the house leave out a plate of cookies and a glass of milk for you on the night you come here. I hope you don't mind, but I have been nibbling and sipping on your snack and on the carrots they leave for your travel companions. I know it's wrong to eat food that isn't meant for me, but the empty plate seems to make the little people happy. It occurs to me that you and I have a lot in common. Like you, the only people who believe in me are kids. And over time, those kids get older and outgrow the idea of us. We are relegated to the realm of fairy stories, of myth. Anyway, I just wanted to write to you and say hello. I thought it might be nice for you to receive a letter that is more than a shopping list. Enjoy your travels and please don't get discouraged if people start to disbelieve. At least I know you're real. Sincerely yours, Horace, the monster under the bed.
I don't know, that kind of made me teary. That's like,
Sorry.
Yeah. You're too.
you got the House of Castles, which I am gonna make up and say that good sex is on the way. And I know this because next poet up is Alexis Ron Francher. Yay!
Send some of that mojo my way, Alexis.
That's right, that's right.
Right. Thank you for inviting me. This was really fun. And I ended up writing in the voice of a minion of Frau Percha, who is a Christmas monster, nemesis of messy housewives.
Oh.
All right. They call her a decrepit old crone, beaked nose made of iron, dressed in rags, that omnipresent cane that steadies her walk. They call her Spinnstrubenfrau, spinning room lady, obsessed with domestic neatness. Slovenly housekeepers, beware. This monster will spy on you. Keep notes. The floor that hasn't been swept in days, that mound of dishes festering in your kitchen sink. Your transgressions are grist for her mill. She's relentless, peeking into messy cupboards, fingering the grease on your stove. Legend has it you'd best get all your flax spun by 12th night. For when Christmas season ends and it's time to set up the big upright loom, you must have enough thread to warp it and start weaving. If not, Frau Percha will set fire to any half-spun fibers, steal into your bedroom, disembowel you, replace your guts with rocks and straw. Don't be fooled by her appearance. Her voluminous skirt hides a long, sharp knife. Her cane becomes a weapon. She flies through the night sky attended by her army of unbaptized children and the lost souls of squalid households. Watch for her on Epiphany, the shining night, the star of Bethlehem, bright and gleaming. Get busy. Clean, wipe, sweep, scrub until your house glistens. Pray that she doesn't have you in her sights. Dear housefrau, if you hear the wind and thunder roaring and mumbling through the mountains on the knocking nights, it's Frau Perta leading the wild hunt. Maybe she's coming for you.
That is delightful. I just love the idea of fingering grease. I don't know why that's so exciting. I mean, it's just.
I know, that was my favorite
Oh my
line
gosh,
too,
it's so
Nicole.
great.
But it's favorite.
You got the Queen of
She's
Castles.
Scandinavian, and she's a Scandinavian goddess or monster. Take your pick.
We can pick.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, once again, I'm really confused about where the line between gods and monsters is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that like distinction happens. So you got Queen of Castles, which I think is a very exciting card for you, Miss Alexis. I don't know what it means, but you could probably figure it out on your own. I think I should give up on being a tarot card reading, but I'm really good at pulling the cards. So I'll pull the cards and you guys can interpret it. This brings us to another exciting spinning of the wheel. So our first round went to Daniel. So just so you know, if you win this amazing card set will be yours. So you'll have your own monster tarot card. You will get a movie monster poster, and you will get an amazing copy of The Language of Fractions. Because for better or for worse, when I think about, I never think about selling books. I think about how very few books make it into the world of readers. And I think most of us write because we have this something that we need to say. But we don't know what we're saying until someone hears it, and then we're in conversation between those two people. So anyways, I'm not here necessarily to sell books tonight. I'm here to give books away. So let's give a book away. Here we go. I mean, you can buy a book if you want to, but I'm more interested in people talking about monsters. And if you are Yasmin, congratulations. You get the future in a deck of cards. You get a fabulous monster movie poster, and you will get a copy of this crazy book, which I hope that you will read and talk about.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. So once again, I will give everyone my personal information. I'm the type of girl that really has nothing to lose. So if you want, I'll give you my social security number too. But it won't do you much good, but still, but there's my email. So Yasmin, if you'll reach out to me, I will send you a Christmas gift in the mail.
Will do.
I'm excited. You never know. Like you try to give someone something and then they don't take it. That's the worst. Isn't that awkward? It's so middle school. It's so incredibly middle school and monstrous. It's awful.
It's monstrous. Monstrous is a good word for it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, congratulations. Let's see. Next up we have Miss Shelley. Is Miss Shelley in the house? I don't mean to be biased about monsters, but she picked my favorite monster of all times. I'm sorry to all the other monsters. I should love monsters equally, but this one's really good. So thanks, Shelley.
Yeah, let's hope I pronounce it right. I chose a Welsh monster, the Christmas horse, and I did do some research on the pronunciation. It was Mari Lloyd or Mari Lud, and since this is supposed to be a mixture of monstrous and innuendo, I thought I'd go with Mari Lloyd. And I'm also the type to like over prepare, so I have links in the chat. So this poem is She Must Inspire Your Feast. And this is a title and an epigraph. Let me change that. Taken from Vernon Watkins, who did the Ballad of Mary Lude, which is, in the mouth of the sack, in the stifled breath, in the sweat of the hands, in the noose, in the black of the sack, in the night of death, shines what you dare not lose. So, she must inspire your feast. That's not mine. That's someone else's. No, I love to take credit for that. No, that's from Vernon Watkins. She must inspire your feast. Winter has always been a white bone kiss dropped upon those wanting red, red lipstick and gentle breath. It's the awkward clack of overlarge teeth or sharing flick of small grit when tongues most want to search for spring melt. In winter, what's another skull to French when you spot it under the mistletoe? Sheet trailing like a bridal veil, the merry lewd waits, fleshless mouth agape, all grinning readiness for the next taking, the next singer of firelight and warm desire. Let her ribbons spill down your shoulder, brush your chest. Sing back to her. Rhyme the banked coals with this closeness or blankets, the door shutting out the dark and cold. When the knock comes, when that knock at midnight comes, let the merry lewd in. Then give that weathered face of shadows and graves the best kiss of the year. Thank you.
I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the chat at all, but Carmen has the best chats. Like she's just like, oh, that was actually really scary. I'm actually surprised, and I don't know why I'm always surprised by this, but at a certain point, like the words just sort of take over and they're enough. So I was thinking of doing way more razzle dazzle in this like Christmas special. Like I thought we would have to do some karaoke or something like this, but I think I just like the poems. So I think we're just gonna keep rolling along with poetry and monsters. So you should, if you don't know who that monster is, you should check out like the information that Shelley gave you in the chat. So basically what you do is you have a horse head, like a skeletal horse head, and you wear it on your face at Christmas time. And this is where you kind of get like a wassailing. So you knock on people's doors and you have like a poem off, like a rap off. And whoever wins, like if the horse wins, then they get to come into your house and break everything and eat all your food. And for whatever, it's like Halloween meets Christmas. I think this is the best holiday that could ever happen. And the idea of kissing a dead horse skull on New Year's sounds so good to me, and I'm not sure why. So I'm super glad that Shelley brought this dead horse to us tonight because it's the best. All right, but best dress definitely goes to Bill Ratner. Oh my gosh, Bill, you look dead. You look dead tonight. You look absolutely dead.
And my character is called Neck Sucker, but I just want to bite your set, and tonight I want to bite your hair.
Oh. Ew.
Merry Christmas. I'm Neck Sucker with great psychic pain. In emails, at concerts, in cold acid rain, in outlet malls, college, or frosting a cookie. I'm shopping so much I'm in debt to my bookie. I learned how at Nordstrom's to powder my face, put unguents and ointments on my secret place. At night on my pillow when I start to dream, that's when I come and moisten with cream. My cat sprayed my tree and my Hanukkah bush, moist with his tinkle. They just go squoosh. Screw Dancer and Prancer and Donner and Vixen. I'm voting for Trump and I worship Nixon. Come fascists, come hatred, come violence, what may. Come next November, election day. He's stupid, he's selfish, he's not very funny. American electorate, induce them with honey. Our corporate Zoom shrinks will quickly line up and ask every one of us to pee in a cup. And what will we learn from this fun little test? We're narcissistic. The hell with the rest. Ah, but of course I have some pleasant Christmas memories. My parents took me to that Jimmy Stewart movie. I luxuriated on junior mints and jujubes, and at home in our living room, I crawled under the boughs of our big, tall Douglas fir tree with that citrusy scent of pine sap. I buried my head under the long green felt wrap and covered the Christmas tree stand. I squinted at the lights on the tree, all bright red and blue and yellow, and oh, the ornaments, little Virgin Marys, plastic Jesuses, the wooden donkey my brother made in 8th grade shop class. I peeked at all the presents, the labels and stickers, some gifts from Mom, some from Dad, some from Santa. we put out fresh baked chocolate chip cookies for him every year, and Christmas morning they were always gone. I think my dad ate them. He was pre-diabetic. I finally figured out that Santa actually lives at the mall and drinks between lap dances. Is it really a wonderful life? It kind of depends on how much blood is spilling around the world. Well, listen. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. We're going to hell. Of course we're uptight.
Bill, you do that awkward thing where I laugh, but I also cry inside. That's awful. I do have like this overwhelming sense though, like it feels good to believe. Even in the darkness, and the darkness is not what we think it is. Oh my gosh, Bill, you really scared me. Thank you. Thank you. What a great Christmas. Let us all pray that for Christmas, I don't even know how to put this. Let's pray for Christmas that we believe in a better world than whatever Bill just read to us. Let's pray for that. Let's pray that Bill is satire. Let's pray that Bill Ratner is satire. Okay, I think it is time for another fabulous spin. Yeah. So again, it's time for everyone to believe that you are a winner. If you believe, you should win. Let's see who's gonna win. So again, just so in case anyone was late coming, you get a pack of amazing tarot cards, monster tarot cards. You get a movie monster poster, and you get a copy of The Language of Fractions, which is actually a book about love, which is AKA American Monsters. So here we go. Let's see who wins.
Redemption.
Venus. Congratulations. I hope you want to be a winner. If you wanted to be a winner, this is a great night for you. If you did not want to be a winner, I'm very sorry, but not that sorry for you. Here is again my personal information along with my social security number in case you need to contact me in any way, in any form. Let's see. Next up, we have Miss Carmen. I'm afraid that Carmen's gonna scare us the way that Bill scared us. We'll see. She was gonna write about the patriarchy, and I think she probably will. So, all right, thanks, Carmen.
Thank you for inviting me. My poem's quite short, and I do have even a small trigger warning, which is there is a line in here that's a little fat phobic. Just, so people know what's going on. I picked Slender Man, and I don't know if I did it quite right, but the title is Slender Man Goes to Therapy After Christmas, Like We All Do. I get tired of only seeing people from the back. The fat kids who eye me, their fear tinged with longing. The depressed goth kids listening to Blue Oyster Cult. The confusion a split second before they run. And even the ones who constantly talk about death always run. I get tired of eating children's souls every day. Don't get me wrong, it's great. Like, have you ever had a really amazing orgasm? One where you're holding back, and I know you're probably not supposed to tell me that kind of thing. Anyway, it's like that. But sometimes I overhear people talking about a great new ramen place, and I just think it would be nice to try something different. Sometimes I wish before running, people would ask me how my day is going, maybe buy me a beer.
Should be more.
Thanks, Carmen. I don't know. I think there was an accidental unmuting, which is kind of my favorite accidental speech. But I think what I heard is someone say there should be more. And that's how I feel about every Carmen poem I ever read. Every Carmen poem I ever read, I hear there should be more. There should be more. Let's see. Up next. Okay, so once again, we're gonna have to do like kind of a I hope you guys like take this. I hope you take this in the best light possible when I say let's pray to baby Jesus zombie. I'm the type of person that believes that believing is powerful all in itself. You know what I mean? And so it's okay to believe in it all. And I don't know why these monster poems are doing that for me. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is Christmas. We're supposed to believe. We're supposed to believe in the Blob and Donald Trump even. Oh my gosh. And Slender Man and like all these moments of belief. But Miss Sammy, I think, is in kind of a sad place. And so she wasn't able to be with us as happens during Christmas. Like, I think a lot of us end up losing people that are close to us, and we kind of forget about that during the holiday seasons, how it's a bittersweet holiday, and it has heights and depths that we don't always think about when we're looking at tinsel and lights and all that other stuff. But it is a winter holiday and a solstice of a sort. So really quickly, in prayer to zombie baby Jesus on this monster poetry reading, we wish you the very best, Miss Sammy, and I hope that you and your family are well. But she wasn't able to be here, so we're sending her the best Christmas wishes ever. And then we are moving on to our next holiday monster. I don't know, maybe scarier than any other monster that has come so far. This would be Jeremy Raw in the voice of coronavirus. I know. We're all like, no. All right, hi Jeremy, how you doing? Hi coronavirus. Maybe coronavirus left us. It's too scary. It's too
Jeremy
scary.
had another like work related
Oh
Zoom
my
that he had
gosh,
to like
none
appear.
of us got corona for Christmas. This is great. Thanks, Jeremy.
He's gonna come back. So he said if he came up to circle back to him because he had another thing he
Got
had
it.
to
So
attend to.
coronavirus will have the last word essentially. So that's kind of cool and not. Hopefully it's coronavirus finding its evil demise and not our demise. Oh, I love that. Katie Manning in the chat is like, it comes when you're not expecting it. It's so true. Well, that brings us to Cynthia, who's going to bring us a poem in the voice of a haunted turkey. Miss Cynthia, are you in your haunted turkey here?
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm here. Okay, I am going to share my screen. Oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
I'm so sorry.
Nicelle, if you
I just fixed it.
Okay,
I'm so
great.
sorry, Cynthia. I meant
Oh,
to
it's
have it be like equal sharing opportunity for all, and now it is. So if anyone else would like to randomly share something that's appropriate, you're welcome to now.
Okay, thank you so much. So I didn't know if there were any Mexican Christmas monsters. I'm first generation immigrant. I'm sorry, I'm first generation born here, right? And I know Spanish. I don't know Aztec, the Aztec pantheon. So I looked up if there were any Mexican Christmas monsters, and I learned that the word for turkey in Spanish, well, I already knew that the word for turkey in Spanish was guajolote, right? Or pavo. But what I didn't know was that guajolote comes from the Nahua word, ajolot. So if you saw on the flyer, there was ajolot, right? So ajolot in Nahua meant gran monstruo, grand monster. And in Mexican households, you have turkey on Christmas Eve. And so I just thought that was, a given. So I thought that I would write a poem about un guajolote. So I began writing a poem, right? So I looked up like images just of glyphs of what Aztec turkeys looked like. And I learned that, for example, the wild turkey that we eat in the US actually originated in Mexico, and we transport wild turkeys from Mexico across the border. So anyway, I had to do some research too. And what I found was there was actually an Aztec turkey god. And this is the Aztec turkey god. So technically it's not a monster, but this is in Aztec mythology. This Aztec god was the god of disease and plague, Chalchiuhtotolin. As I was trying to pronounce this and writing this poem, I think I also accidentally summoned Chalchiuhtotolin. So my poem turned into a one-act play where Chalchiuhtotolin and I attend a therapy session, and he asks me some, colonialism 101 questions. So that's this poem. Here we go. I have never entered a god, but I have entered a monster. It is not as dark as you would think. It is quite light-filled. There is love here. Love has a body. You can consume it. It is not grotesque. The skin does not scab, and you do not bleed, though you can suffocate. You begin to breathe your own breath and believe your own senses instead of believing your own mind. Forgetting is easy with time. The mouth is the first to forget, the first to release its syllables, too many now, inside this new body. The names too long, like lizards. You trim them, release their tails, round them off, speak them so they glisten like bubbles. The mouth is the first to forget its own corners, the drudgery of the affricate. TL has no equivalent in English. Try pronouncing a T and a voiceless L simultaneously. To live here, you must first forget your name. So you stop speaking it. You call your mother, mother. You call your ancestors, ancestors. Adjust your tongue to the diphthongs. Add milk to chocolate. To live here, you must forget your outside form, for you must become what consumes you. If you are to live, you must live. You must live with the memory, dark now, that once you entered a monster when you could have entered a god. Act 2.
Act 1.
Poets and directions. Poets, write a poem in the voice of their monster. And then I checked Nicelle's directions, right? Wait a minute, I'm supposed to write a poem in the voice of a monster. What complicates this is the possessive form. It means belonging to them. This monster god does not belong to me, nor I to it anymore. We do not recognize each other as deity and believer. world maker and inhabitant, myth and blank, Aztec pantheon and Aztec. I must enter this monster god as a foreign, forgotten, disowned, returned stranger. This monster god does not recognize me, nor I it. We are estranged. We are in therapy. We are long lost. We are reconciling. Who is the creator of whom? We have forgotten. We put down our wings and claws and pen and introduce ourselves. Scene, therapist's office, daytime, present day, characters, poeta, US born, monster god, Chalchuitotolin, and therapist. It must enter into farce. It must begin there. No one is scared. The monster god says, exasperated. Why aren't you trembling with fear? Poeta, should I be? Monster god, don't you know who I am? I'm Chalchuitotolin, poeta. I never learned Nawa. I only speak European languages, and I only write using Roman script. Monster god, Nawa has been spoken for 900 years. It was the language of the Aztec Empire. How do you not know Nawa? Poeta, sorry to tell you, but the Aztec Empire fell. Only a few thousand people speak Nawa now. Most people in Mexico speak Spanish and a European language. Monster god, then how is it you are able to speak my name? Poeta, Chalchuitotolin. I tried to enter the monster god, but I wasn't believing my own senses. I was like, why am I not scared of you? And the monster god talked back. Poeta, I can only speak your name, barely. How is it that you speak English? Monster god, I do not speak English. I'm an Aztec god. I make myself understood. Poeta, so you're a polyglot? Monster god, a what? Poeta, never mind. You're supposed to be the god of disease and pestilence, right? Monster god, I am. Poeta, does that mean that you give disease and pestilence or that you cure disease and pestilence? Because I have this pain in my side and it's like a prickly pain when I run. And also I've gotten COVID like twice already. Pestilence means plague, right? Can that be over already? Because monster god, I do not cure disease and pestilence. I curse you with it. Poeta, okay, sorry, I get it. The plague is scary, but please no more quarantine. Are you also the god of disease, pestilence, and Zoom? I curse you to a life of 3-hour Zoom trainings, monster god. Why did you summon me? Poeta, I summoned you accidentally, I think. I got curious about monster gods from Mexico, Christmas monsters in particular, and I learned that turkey, which we eat en la Nochebuena, we call guajolote, it comes from Nahuahuejolot, monster god. Yes, gran monstruo, poeta. Yes, exactly, gran monstruo. That's how I found you. I read aloud your names. The Aztec turkey god, the jeweled fowl, precious night turkey, jade turkey. I spoke your Aztec name, Chalchuitotolin. Oh, fearsome one, monster god. Yes. But you said you were curious about Christmas monsters. What means Christmas? Oh, La Nochebuena, that's Christmas Eve, the night before Jesus was born, supposedly. Monster god, who's Jesus? Poeta, it's a long story. And scene. I've never written a scene before. That's what happened to that. Thank you.
What just happened?
I don't know.
So
I told you.
Really?
I feel so blessed to be present. Like, what just happened? I feel so lucky. I feel so lucky right now. Yeah, I think this is the best monster turkey poem I've ever written in my whole life. That is a really good, and kind of hitting on the theme of like, it's okay to believe. It's okay to believe, even though it's very awkward and usually it involves a monster turkey. I don't, it's so
Yeah.
good, Cynthia. I hope one day there is no quarantine and we get to dance together again. That would
Yes.
be the ideal. So,
Can I say one more thing, Nicelle? Earlier you said, you know, you added one thing to our assignment, which was, you know, to write to the fear, right? Write to the things that you battle, sort of. And in hearing you, I realized, oh, the monster is not the Aztec turkey god. That's not what I fear. What I fear is actually not knowing myself because I can't know my past self. And so then the monster in this poem is colonialism, because that's the fear that I'm battling, which is what has me in counseling with this monster. So thanks for the opportunity.
No, absolutely. I mean, so this book in particular, I've been a real, I'll just say it out loud, kind of a jerk, honestly. So I've done 3 different readings, and at each of the readings, like there's people in here, like Rich Ferguson is here, like, so for each of the readings, I've given homework. I mean, like forever a middle school teacher, which is the greatest monster that man ever invented. I am a middle school teacher. I am a monster. And so we did a reading on different body parts where different poets had to write to different body parts. And then we had another reading where different poets wrote love poems to each other, and you had to guess which poet wrote which love poem to whom. And then this one was poets that I love and admire writing to their monsters. And so if I were to be absolutely transparent, like the dream of every writer is that your work inspires a conversation or a certain pattern of thinking. And I've been in some ways really selfish, I'll be honest. Like I've elicited like people that I know are kind and good friends, and asked them to please like write into this, like write into the conversation of a theme or an idea. And people have been great. They've been like showing up with like turkey monster god like theater that happens in a therapy office. Like it's been really a phenomenal ride, and it's hard to believe, and I want to believe. And so I thought this was gonna be goofier. I have a skirt on. If this helps at all, I have a skirt that has like a cat on the crotch. So I have like a pussy skirt on. Like I had all this like kitschy stuff to do. And it all had to do with like selling books, and I'm just not that girl. I think I'm just really excited about the idea that Cynthia and I might dance together one day again, once quarantine's over. I'm really excited about this idea. Oh, coronavirus is in the house. Coronavirus is in the house. Jeremy, Rob, will you please give us your wisdom as the worst monster of them all?
I'm sorry, I'm trying.
Oh no, it's okay. You know what? I'm supposed to read. Do you guys mind if I read a book, like a poem from my book really quick?
Please.
Okay, and then Jeremy can get ready. Okay, all right. So remember that this is based off of my kid who is fighting monsters. So I'll do 2 poems. So there's the map game obstacle number 1, the first dangerous thing that ever lived on Earth. The first dangerous thing that ever lived on Earth was happy, rolling across mountains with 18 machete legs, wagging its hammer tail while poison dribbled liquid rainbows down its abdomen. It formed iridescent trails as its sneaky fingers tickled itself with sensual antennae, its eyes dividing and redividing, saw color as viewed from a vibrating bed. It slept on rivers and dreamed of currents. When it talked in sleep, water kissed its forehead in gratitude for speaking its unspeakable names correctly. When the sun rose, he bid it good morning. When the moon lilied, he told it good night. All was good until the first harmless thing that ever lived on Earth arrived. And so here is now the map game obstacle 2, the first harmless thing that ever lived on Earth. The word pray and pray fill the mouth with the same shape. Mouths opening on the sound as if to take in food, water, or full kiss. A harmless thing is made for desire, Its nature an open valley, its interior cupped hands extending with gestures of offering. It says, take my emptiness, a space for companionship, a whole that is whole self and yearning for acceptance. There is nothing more dangerous on earth. There are monsters. And now for Corona.
Where are you, Jeremy?
Oh my
Chris,
God. I'm so happy to actually be here. Really, I love Nicole so much. I think a lot of people know this. I love Nicole. I mean, like I think we met at Suzanne's class, right? Yeah. And then I was like, this bitch has something special about her. And I just knew. She's just a very special, amazing person. And on top of that, one of our like Wednesday groups is Bill, who looks like a fucking Nazi right now. I don't know what is that? What is that, Bill? Like, and it's not really Nazi. It's like, is that Austrian? I mean, what is that?
It's the shadow. It is the shadow, Jeremy.
Oh, so vampires are supposed to be Nazi looking? Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
Alrighty then.
Thanks for looking.
And by the way, this film, I actually really love this film because it's also one of the poems that Alexis actually published when she was still the chief poetry editor at Cultural Daily. So, and I didn't think that like this was going to be published at all. I just don't like talking about current events or anything like that. But here it is. Coronavirus loves you. I sprang across the 7 seas for someone who could handle my love. Some promised they could, and I was happy to love them like they wanted. Till their breaths were shorted, cut into a million lightless shards. I was called names that miss who I am, excessive, easy, batshit. I let them all go. But a fraud? What I am is acid pure, bearing a fever beauty that sears off fingerprints. I've taken out no insurance on anyone's mortgage life. I used to believe that the gods should have a purpose, but my lovers kept becoming epitaphs. Say, death is mysterious, throat quenched, body bag, the appalled skins piled up within the hospital walls. It also lacks subtlety. Those who didn't catch my fever became little gods, as static as a couch, afraid of the empty roads outside, chilled to a pin-dropping silence by my passion. I wish I could give you the strength to forsake me, and vice versa. Once I was even mistaken for a beer. It amused me. I heard booze helps you forget. I heard you drank to endure me. I envied its canary-tinted levity, its short bursts of joys and pains. But love is a thorny crown I wear. I must be requited. The taste of my loss is not felt on my tongue. I mutate to always be a part of you. I medicine you to keep you alive, immunize you of all little deaths with the fresh poison of a bee's stinger. My once fatal care came to a puncture. In the end, what doesn't kill you will leave you enfeebled. With every prolonged breath, hate me a little less. Here in this home we have, we must learn to die or coexist.
Amazing. All of a sudden I like coronavirus. How do you do that, Jeremy? It's amazing. The charm of it. So we are at the very end of this amazing Christmas Gothic special. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I am like really, really like Marjorie is like actually on the East Coast. Like I'm looking at people that are like up past their bedtime just to listen to poetry. I'm so grateful for your time and that you're here. I mean, these are people that I admire. So it makes me super nervous to like even be kind of in the Zoom room with people, if that makes sense. So we have one last poem, which is about the scariest things ever, moms. So I have a mom poem for you guys, which is what we'll end this on. And then we have one more giveaway, and then that kind of concludes our night. So, I mean, if you do have like any beverage from hot cocoa to more adult versions of that, if you want to grab your drinks, we'll do a cheers at the very end. If you need to like refill your drinks so that we can do a cheers at the very end, that would be great. So here's my scary, scary mom poem. And then we'll have a prize, a final door gift. And then we'll cheers and say goodnight if you guys are okay with that. Thank you so much. What a macabre group you are. I love it. So dark and mysterious on this cheery Christmas night. So parental reflections on the known, mothers. After my maternal grandmother died, more doors opened to small rooms. My mom would disappear into locked bathrooms with her friend, the woman who fed me tamales. The woman's daughter and I would play Barbies, pushing the micro pink plastic lips against Ken's permanent pantied crotch. She'd pretend to lick off imagined lines of sugar. I didn't understand then all the white powder that dusted everything in our lives. We could write our names on any flat surface in those days. Inhaling pixie sticks, my brother used his bloody noses to wash everything red. Eventually, my father was locked out of rooms too. He'd sit alone with a half-played game of hearts. My brother and his friend would light each other on fire. The fuzz of their clothes a nova burst before darkness again. Nobody noticed. When I was 13 and staining all the walls of our house with practice kisses, my mother took us out for margaritas, just little ones, to tipsy us towards talking. She wanted to know if I liked girls. She wanted me to want girls. Just don't be half gay, she would say. Those people are just greedy. When her nose bled, she said it was because of her exceptional sense of smell. She could smell gay people, she told me. She told me she believed in aliens. Such things seemed possible with a probed nose like hers. When I told my mother I liked both men and women, I felt greedy as invasion. When she said she knew, I understood tamales. The sky is a slow swirl of stars, constellations leading our way, none of them asking to be the answer. Now I am a mother. When given a telescope and a microscope, my son prefers the latter. For hours, he sits with his case of glass plates, smearing his own snot for examination. He keeps a map of the prehistoric world under his pillow. He dreams of resurrecting a T-Rex. When I ask him, why spittle and blood before stars? He says, there isn't one without the other. Mr. J.J. Davis, thank you so much for being our co-host tonight and taking care of the chat. I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful for you. We're going to do our final spin to win. And then we'll cheers and say goodnight. So here we go. Final spin to win. Alexis, you won a fabulous pack of Monster Tarot, a monster poster, and a copy of the Language of Friction. So I will go ahead and put my personal information in the chat again. Everyone, if you don't mind, just for the sake of taking a screenshot, I'm so sorry. Getting a glass of something to cheers to each other, make a monster wish to the room if you don't mind. That would be amazing.
Nicelle, did you what were you saying about your clothes? Like what was it? Like you weren't wearing things or like
You want to see my skirt?
Yes, I do. Yes,
okay,
I do.
I'm very excited. This was like a $2 skirt. Well, first of all, this is why I should not try to do anything, but So this is my Christmas sweater. I was very excited about that because it's
Yeah.
sweet. And then inside I have like a skirt that has a pussy on it. And I was gonna have like have a little like speech bubble that says buy my book, but I just couldn't do it. It was like too far. It was too far. But now you know. what
Okay,
my
that's
intentions are.
amazing.
My secret
That's
intention.
amazing.
I have a skirt.
This
I
is
have
why
a
I
$3
fucking
skirt
love you
that has
so
a-
much.
Yeah, thank you. I love you too. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
And
Thanks, you guys. I'm so grateful that you were here. Merry Christmas. Thanks, you guys.
oh my God,
Yay.
amazing.
All right. Happy New Year, you guys. I'll
Happy New Year. All of you are so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Good night, you guys.
Thank
Merry
you,
Christmas.
Nicole.
everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
Nicole.
you.
Nicole.
Bye. Merry Christmas. Merry
Merry
Christmas. Thank
Christmas.
you. Cheers. Thank you. Merry Christmas.